Fredric Jameson's Inventions of a Present. The novel, in its crisis of globalization, is a profound collection of essays that explores the intersections of literature, history, and social collectivity. Jameson treats the novel not merely as a representation, but as an intervention, an act that seeks to modify or disrupt our understanding of lived experience. In the most ambitious instances, novels do more than reflect reality. They propose new ways of thinking about what it means to live and act within a social context. This volume grapples with how literature in different parts of the world responds to globalization, and examines whether contemporary novels can awaken our awareness of collective life amid growing individualism. One of the core themes Jameson addresses is the capacity of literature to bridge the gap between subjective experience and collective consciousness. The most ambitious novels, he argues, don't just evoke the personal, they attempt to situate personal experience within larger systems, such as class or nation. However, awakening such a sense of collectivity is only a preliminary step. A deeper question Jameson poses is whether collective praxis, the active, shared participation in political and social life, can be found within these fictional awakenings. This inquiry, which runs throughout the essays, highlights the struggle to move beyond mere sentiment or awareness into genuine collective action, especially within the framework of national identity. For Jameson, it is urgent to disentangle the possibilities of meaningful action from the often problematic ideologies embedded within nationalism. The scope of the collection is vast, covering diverse literary traditions across North America, Latin America, Europe, the former Soviet Union, Japan, and Nordic countries. The essays trace the shared experience of late capitalism, showing how novels across these disparate contexts respond to the pressures of their historical moments. Each essay anchors its theoretical reflections in the concrete analysis of specific cultural products. This approach makes the volume more grounded than Jameson's purely theoretical works, such as meta-commentary or allegory and ideology. While the theories underpinning the essays are rich, the focus remains on the novels under investigation, with Jameson using them as a lens to explore how historical and social forces shape narrative coherence and literary form. A prime example of Jameson's method is his essay on Vasily Grossman's life and fate, a novel set during the pivotal years of 1942 to 1943 in Russia. Jameson examines the novel's sprawling structure, which brings together characters from diverse social strata, including textile workers and newspaper editors. The question at the heart of Jameson's analysis is how such a heterogeneous novel manages to maintain narrative coherence. Instead of seeing Life and Fate as a collection of disjointed vignettes, Jameson argues that the novel functions as an enclave form where distinct narrative spaces are carefully interwoven into a unified whole. Jameson's insight is that the novel's coherence arises from the unique historical conditions in which it was written. The compression of wartime Russia, where the demands of socialist economic relations converged with the war effort, forced a kind of enforced solidarity. This historical moment enabled the creation of a narrative that reflects the collective experience of constraint and survival. The content of the novel thus determines its form, illustrating Jameson's broader argument about the social preconditions for literary coherence. The essay doesn't just illuminate life and fate, it also offers a theoretical framework for understanding how novels capture collective experiences under specific historical pressures. Another fascinating essay in the collection, Allegories of the Hunter, pairs James Dickey's Deliverance, 1970, with Norman Mailer's Why Are We in Vietnam? In this piece, Jameson shifts between psychoanalytic, literary, and political approaches, demonstrating his versatility as a critic. He explores how Deliverance appeals to the suburban imagination by depicting scenes of cathartic violence that simultaneously affirm the need for an authoritarian state. The novel becomes a form of psychic release, allowing readers to confront repressed desires without destabilizing their sense of order. Jameson interprets this dynamic through the lens of psychoanalysis, proposing that literature serves as a kind of talking cure. By bringing buried fantasies to light, literature enables readers to engage with them consciously, rather than repressing them through facile optimism. Jameson's analysis also delves into Mailer's use of Gnostic symbolism, particularly his focus on scent, which adds another layer to the interpretation. The essay demonstrates how literary and psychoanalytic insights can coalesce into broader theoretical propositions. These theoretical claims are not abstract musings, but are grounded in the particularities of the novels under discussion. Jameson's readings offer a model for how cultural criticism can increase our understanding of both the specific works analyzed and the historical contexts that shape them. Throughout the collection, Jameson emphasizes that literature reflects the conditions of its historical moment, especially under late capitalism. His approach aligns with his concept of materialist formalism, which seeks to show how historical realities manifest in cultural works through narrative forms. This method runs through all the essays, providing a consistent yet flexible framework for interpretation. Whether analyzing a long-forgotten novel, like Sol Eurydice's Richard A., or a widely recognized work, like Karl Ove Knausgaard's My Struggle, Jameson demonstrates how novels participate in the dialectical process of meaning-making. One potential critique of the collection is that some essays may feel time-bound, given their focus on works that were once popular, but have since faded from public memory. For instance, Yick's Richard A., a novel that once resonated with readers, is now out of print and largely forgotten. However, Jameson's analyses transcend the immediate relevance of the individual works. Even when the novels themselves are no longer widely read, the theoretical insights they yield continue to illuminate broader cultural and historical dynamics. Jameson's engagement with these texts serves as a model for future critics, encouraging them to analyze contemporary cultural products with the same depth and rigor. Jameson's critical approach contrasts with the recent trend in literary studies toward post-critical reading, championed by figures like Rita Felsky. While post-criticism urges readers to move beyond skeptical interpretations, Jameson's essays embrace a more engaged form of criticism. He does not dismiss or scorn the cultural products he analyzes. Instead, he seeks to explain why they resonate with readers and what that resonance reveals about the historical period in which they were created. Jameson's criticism is a form of cultural archaeology, uncovering the layers of meaning embedded in literary works and showing how they relate to broader social forces.